Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's the simple things in life, like learning all again. It's the simple things in life, like finding where it all began. Do you know your history? Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Do you know your history? Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Now we going back. He done on my back for sure when I let the truth go. We gon' let them know my people on my back for sure. I hold 'em.
Hey, shalom. We are back. Welcome to the show. I'm very excited today. Yeah. All praise to the Most High. We got a new setup now.
That's right.
You know, we got to evolve, man. You know, we got to evolve.
Yes, sir.
Praise to the Most High.
Look at it.
Damn, look at that thing.
Yeah, bro. All praise to the Most
All
High,
praise to the
man.
Most High.
So, you are now tuned into
Our Hidden History radio show.
Yeah, we back, man.
Yes,
So,
sir.
It sounds different now with the background. you
yeah, all praises, man.
Sound different with the background.
It sounds different with the background. Yo, man. All right, so let's just jump right into it. We're still dealing with Islam, the origins of it, the inception, how it came about, spread, things of that nature. So let's jump into the book, History of the Jews by Grazel. We're going to throw some scriptures in between. We got a lot of reading to do, so I'm going to throw some scriptures in between. We got to read a lot of pages. So we're going to start with page 243 of Grazel's book. This book is very, very good. There's a lot of information in here, so if you can find it and get it, I suggest you do. Very informative stuff. We're going to start with page 2. We left off at page 250 regarding Israel fleeing into Northwest Africa, etc. Mauritania, the Maghreb, the northwestern region of Africa, as we left off. So, and how Islam, you know, I haven't pulled in a long time, Rutherford Windsor's book. He goes heavily into that.
To Islam.
No,
Yeah.
into Israel fleeing. Remember that the
Africa.
biggest exiles were Rome and Islamization.
Right.
So I'll try to squeeze that in as well.
No, we have the books.
No, we have it. I'm saying we haven't used it as reference material in a while. We've been using the books that he referenced, but I do. He makes it very, very elementary. Like he simplifies everything. I like how he wrote it.
You know why we started using these other books? Because they were trying to debunk Rutherford Windsor, so we just started going into the sources he used to see if they could debunk all of them.
Yeah, and they haven't, and they still haven't. Yeah, so we go back to Rudolph again.
I sent them the map.
You found it? All praises. All right, so. Let's get page 243. Blow it up some if you can. All right, let's read 243.
Mohammedanism, a new master.
Yeah, slave master. Went from Rome to Muhammad, as far as I'm concerned. Go ahead.
Muhammad brings to the Arabs a new religion, to the Christians a new rival, and to the Jews a new political master. The second daughter in another part of the Eastern world, developments were taking place destined to have a far-reaching effect upon civilization and upon the Jewish people. The tribes who lived on the western fringe of the vast Arabian desert had for centuries played an insignificant role in the activities of the peoples to their north and west. They could not, however, permanently shut their minds to the ideas common among their neighbors. Gradually, the teachings of Judaism, and to some extent of Christianity,
Western Christianity by this time. It was pagan Christianity pretty much. Go ahead.
began to make themselves felt among the Arabs. Once more, the fundamental thoughts of Judaism triumphed and gave birth to another religion.
And we know that Christianity, Western or pagan Christianity, came among the Arabs because in Islam, they believe in a virgin birth. They believe in a virgin birth. They believe that Mary miraculously conceived, that Christ, who they refer to as Isa al-Masih or al-Mahdi, whatever, he has no physical father, which is not biblical. So they borrowed from Christianity, fake Christianity. Even then, he borrowed from there. That proves that the Quran has corruptions inside of it, because that's a corrupt doctrine itself. It's not biblical. Christ had a father. Christ had a physical father. Some of y'all gonna get mad on there, but if you got questions regarding that, we'll do it another time. But you can call us, son. You can also call us now on the Zoom. Call us in. Okay, you can call us at 267-702-6121. That's 267-702-6121. That's the number also on the left.
That's the meeting
That's
ID.
his
for
ID.
Zoom.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
That's
okay.
a Zoom meeting
But,
ID.
but
Okay, cool.
But all that information is also
already on
at
the
the
screen,
bottom
right?
in the third, lower third.
description.
So.
Okay, yeah. So 267-702-6121. Call us. All right, read on.
Judaism now mixed with Arab culture to produce Mohammedanism. Just as 6 centuries previously, it had mixed with the Roman Greek culture to give birth to Christianity.
Yep. So Judaism mixed with the Roman Greek culture to give birth to fake Christianity.
Damn.
That's how you know Judaism and Roman Greek culture merged together and gave you the Christianity you guys subscribe to today. It ain't the real thing. It's fake. Go ahead.
The adoption of this religion by the Arabs revolutionized the entire world of that day.
And the Arabs borrowed from both the Judaism and the Roman Greek Christianity they borrowed from. Go ahead.
A corner of the diaspora. When did Jews come to Arabia? No one knows when Jews first settled in the Arabian Peninsula. It may be that some chose the cities of its western coast when, during the period of the Hasmoneans, Palestine became too small to hold the growing Jewish population, and numbers of Jews went forth to seek homes in Syria and Egypt and lands still more distant. It is also possible that when the Nabatean Arabs invaded Palestine, as they did on several occasions, they took away some captives who eventually made their way further south. The defeat of the Jews by Rome in 70 and the ill effects of the unsuccessful rebellions no doubt increased the Jewish population in this part of the Eastern world.
After 70 AD, there was a huge influx of Jews into Arabia because the Romans were chasing after us, so we fled further and further into Africa as time went on. Go ahead.
It is certain that by the middle of the 5th century, Jews were to be found as far as the southernmost tip of the Arabian Peninsula in the kingdom of Yemen.
He was in Yemen, and right across the ocean of Yemen is Ethiopia, is right across the water, right across. Go ahead.
A Jewish kingdom. In this fruitful and delightful part of Arabia, an incident occurred a century before Muhammad, which proves the presence and influence of Jews. Early in the 6th century, the king of Yemen, named Daud Nawas, and presumably also a part of his people, became converts to Judaism. He changed his name to Joseph and assumed the role of defender of the Jews. He resented the harsh treatment of the Jews by the emperors of the Eastern Roman Empire and threatened to avenge them on the Christians. Directly west of Yemen, across the Red Sea, was the Christian kingdom of Abyssinia.
See, here you go, right across the sea. Abyssinia is Ethiopia, right across the sea. Go ahead.
Politics and religious zeal prompted the emperor of Byzantium, that is, of the Eastern Roman Empire,
Roman Christianity, same thing. Go ahead.
To urge the king of Abyssinia to invade Yemen. King Joseph was defeated. Riding his horse up a tall cliff which overlooked the sea, he committed suicide by jumping into the water. A number of Jewish Yemenites must have moved northward to seek homes among other Arab peoples.
Right.
Jewish Arab tribes. By the 6th century, Jews were to be found in and near Mecca.
Give me Acts 2 real quick regarding Jews being among the Arabs. That'll go back to the scriptures too. Acts 2. Acts 2 verse 5.
Yes, sir. The book of Acts, chapter 2 and verse 5. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven.
Israel was scattered among all nations even during the time of the apostles. Go ahead.
Verse 11. Cretes and Arabians.
Crete is an island of Greece. In what?
And Arabians.
Crete is Greece, and Greek island, and Arabians. We dwelt in Arabia. Go back.
By the 6th century, Jews were to be found in and near Mecca and Yathrib, Medina.
Right. Yathrib was a place where 3 tribes, particularly most likely Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, resided. And when Muhammad conquered it, he renamed it Medina. Okay? That's why it says Yathrib, and it's Medina next to it. Go ahead.
The 2 important cities of Arabia.
Right.
This part of the world was not organized politically into one unit. Its population was still divided into tribes, even where the people lived close together in cities. The Jews of Arabia were also divided into about half a dozen different tribes, torn apart by jealousies and occasionally resorting to war. They differed from their pagan Arab neighbors in religion only. Judaism in Arabia. Far from the centers of Jewish culture in Palestine and Babylonia, the Arabian Jews possessed little learning. They did not know and revered the Bible. They did know and revered the Bible. Their knowledge of the Bible was such that they, as well as the Christians, were called by the Arabs the people of the book.
Right. They called the Jews and Christians, who were the same people, the people of the book, or Ahal al-Kitab. Ahal, meaning the populace. Al, as in the. Kitab, meaning pages or book. Ahal al-Kitab. That's what they called us. People of the book. Go ahead.
Wow, they were inferior in this and in other respects to other Jews. They were superior to the pagans around them. Their belief in the unity of God, their higher personal morality, their dignified observance of Jewish feasts and fast days, their arrest from work on the Sabbath, and their refusal to permit a fellow Jew, even of a different tribe, to remain in slavery.
We incorporated these laws while in the land, while being exiled from our own. We kept the same laws. Go ahead.
Left a deep impression upon their neighbors. In this way, their presence and example prepared the mind of the heathenish Arabs for the acceptance of a higher form of religion.
Come on. So we made a big impact on the Arabs' way of life based upon how they saw us live. Give me that. Deuteronomy 4. Deuteronomy chapter 4 to show that that's how we were supposed to conduct ourselves. But remember, we were already exiled, so after a while, that peace we had was going to be removed. Deuteronomy 4, verse 6, yeah.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of all the nations.
Or in this instance, the Arabs. Go ahead.
Which shall hear of all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. Mm-hmm. For what nation is there so great, who have God so nigh unto them, as the Lord our God is in all things that we call upon him for? Mm-hmm. And what nation is there so great, that have statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law, which I set before you this day?
So we had laws and commandments that impressed the nations that were amongst us or around us when we dwelt amongst them. We made huge impacts wherever we went. Even now today, us in captivity now in America, we make, wherever we go and teach or speak, when it comes to the word of God, we leave behind us a huge impact on the people. When we march through certain cities and we hold certain, go to do certain seminars, we leave behind a huge positive influence because God put that spirit in us to do so. Where we at?
Muhammad and the Jews, the education of a prophet. Muhammad's childhood and youth were spent in the city of Mecca, where he belonged to one of the most powerful Arab tribes.
The Quraysh tribe. Quraysh. Go ahead.
He was poor and consequently received little of the education which a wealthier Arab child would have received.
That's why he was illiterate. He couldn't read or write. Go ahead.
But he was gifted with intelligence and with a mind which absorbed information.
But he had photographic memory. He was very good. He had a good memory. Go ahead.
From being a mere camel driver, he soon rose to be the leader of a caravan and the manager of his employer's business. He became what we now call an exporter, and his business trips frequently took him to Palestine.
Right, where he encountered who? Israelites. Go ahead.
Both on his trips and at home, he came in contact with Jews and Christians. He became acquainted with their views of the world, with the stories connected with their faith, with their customs and their manner of worshiping God.
Right.
As a result, he contrasted the paganism of the Arab masses with the loftier ideas of Christians and Jews.
He compared the two. These guys live better than my people. They're doing better than my people are doing. Go ahead.
He spent much time with the Jewish inhabitants of Arabia, and the more he talked with them, the more he became convinced that it was desirable and possible to change the religion of his people.
We motivated him to push this new form of faith. Go ahead. Next page.
The Prophet in Islam. Before long, Muhammad began to work out his plan. Clearly, he was more favorably impressed with the Jewish idea of the unity of God than with the Christian idea of the Trinity.
See that? So by that time, the Trinity doctrine or pagan Christianity was already around. So even though the Christian Jews and Mosaic Jews lived together, they had the disagreements regarding the Messiah, whether he was the Father or whatever. That discrepancy, that issue was amongst us, but we still managed to live peacefully because he was still the same people. We didn't share the same ideology when it came to Christian doctrine, but they still upheld the laws of Moses together, regardless of their thoughts of Christ, his status or whatever. Go ahead.
He announced himself a prophet.
And so now this dude comes around and says, I'm a prophet now. Go ahead.
The chief prophet, the greatest that ever lived. What? Greater even than Moses.
Wow.
And greater than Jesus, upon whom he also looked as one of the prophets.
Now, wait. No. I got to touch on that. This guy believed he was greater than Christ. What I find the most alarming about that is that, and according to the Quran, y'all can look it up if you want to, fact check me, because I've been very thoroughly researching this for months. In the Quran, Muhammad's mother and father are in hell, and everyone goes to hell when they die. And when Judgment Day comes, the righteous will be removed from hell, and the wicked will be left there. That means he's there too. And Jesus is with Allah. So Christ and Mary are the only human beings whom Satan has not touched before man was made. So that means that Jesus and Mary were perfect. But he said that in the Quran it says that the devil touched or laid his fingers on every single human being before they came into existence, except Mary and Mary and Christ, which is madness. But that's what they believe.
Damn.
So how is it possible that the prophet of the Quran is imperfect and greater than Christ, but he's in hell, and Jesus is in heaven with Allah, his God? Make that make some kind of sense. Now, just in case you guys don't believe me, I will give you the book and chapter, or the surah, as they call it. Surah means chapter. Ayat means verse. That's what it means. So I'm gonna show you. 1 second.
Bring it out. So, Deke, they believe in Muhammad, who's in hell right now.
Yeah, but Muhammad asked the Lord. Allah told Muhammad and all the followers in the group that you're all basically gonna go to hell. When you read Surah 19, chapters 19, verse 71 to 72. Everyone goes 71 there. Everyone goes to hell. 72, the righteous get released. His father's in hell. His mother's in hell. That's what they believe. When you read the Quran, Mary was the best woman that Allah ever created. Okay. Let me see. Let me find hell here.
So the jihadists that be, blowing themselves up thinking they getting 70 virgins.
No, they go into hell first.
Yeah, they go to hell first.
And then they go to heaven afterwards.
Oh.
Everyone goes to hell.
So they got to get tortured first.
They got to get
after
tortured and burned first,
and
then go to heaven.
Two times, and then you win.
Started from the bottom. Now we're
here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bro, what are you talking about?
They call it jamna, something like that. Come on.
Dang.
Come on. Y'all keep talking about finding this.
That's a hard life right there.
Yeah, that's wild.
What is it?
Hey, so
It's a Quran, Muslims. It's Hadith. Well, if you're a Muslim, some Muslims subscribe to the Quran, and some Muslims subscribe to both the Quran and the Hadith. The Hadith is like a
Talmud,
an apocrypha, or I would say more so an apocrypha because it gives more elaborates.
It's like commentary.
It's like commentary. It's like
explains what the Quran.
Yeah,
is talking
so
about.
it's like a
the Talmud.
Pretty much.
It's like
so
their
that's the
Talmud.
Talmudic version of their Quran. So some Muslims are Quran only, and some are Quran / Hadith believers. So in the Hadith, the Sahih, which means it's more authentic, it says that the father is in hell in verse 203, and in 976 the mom is in hell. And when you read, let's see, Mary's the greatest woman that Allah ever made. She's the only woman mentioned by name in the Quran. No other woman's mentioned. No other woman I can think of is named in the Quran except her.
Don't they have a book called Cow though?
Yeah, Kyle, they have called Maryam. She has her own book called Maryam, Mary. She has her own book and everything. They reverence her because they borrow from Christianity. They borrow from the Greco-Roman version of Judaism. That's why Christ has no father in the Quran. Mary was impregnated by the breath of Gabriel because Gabriel decided to blow on the coochie, and somehow Christ was formed through her box being blown on. You can't make this up, man. Y'all believe this stuff. Yeah. So anyway, where we at? Go back where we was at.
Yes.
So I gave you the passages. Y'all can look this up. Y'all can go into yourself. Look it up. It's Hadith, Sahih, Muslim 203 for the father in hell, and in 976 the mom is in hell. All right? And everyone goes to hell, and you read Surah 1971, and I think they get out somewhere, I think 72. This is madness, man. Madness. It says it. It is hell. It's referring to, it doesn't say hell, but it's it. It's referring to hell, and you go into the Arabic, it's hell. Where we at?
Asserting that revelations or prophecies came to him through an angel. He had them written down as he uttered them after coming out of the trance, into which he occasionally fell. These prophecies were subsequently put together into a book.
This trance he occasionally fell into was epilepsy. Remember the last book? Right. He had epileptic seizures or episodes, and he called that a vision or trance. Crazy madness. Go ahead.
These prophecies were subsequently put together into a book which Muhammad meant to rival the Bible of the Jews and the Christians.
Yep.
The Mohammedans still regarded the Quran as God's latest message. In his prophecies, Muhammad forbade many of the pagan practices which prevailed among the Arabs.
Not all of them. Many of them, but not all of them. They had that stone, the Kaaba stone, he kept it. Them throwing stones at it. Rather than throw arrows at it, they throw stones at it instead. 7 of them. Okay? So they said they're stoning the devil. There's nowhere in the Bible. Nowhere. There's no ancient text of any kind before in ancient Hebrew or anything like that that substantiates Abraham stoning the devil. It's nowhere to be found.
So today they kiss the devil.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Go ahead.
He prohibited sacrifices. He instituted prayer. He outlined a life of morality and ethics modeled upon that of the Jews and the Christians. And as in these two religions, he promised the faithful the rewards of joy after death. His religion assumed the name of Islam, a word related to the Hebrew shalom.
Wow.
Its adherents were called Muslims, but in Western lands, it was given the name Mohammedanism after its founder, Muhammad. When Muhammad began to preach his new ideas, he met with a great deal of opposition.
Because he's a liar. Because he's a liar. Go ahead.
His own fellow tribesmen resented the thing he said about the old religion of the Arabs.
So he had beef with the pagan Arabs that he went against, and he had beef with the Jews, and he had beef with the Christians. Go ahead.
After he had been proclaiming his new faith for a few years, he had won only a small number of followers. And in the year 622 of the Common Era,
AD.
he was forced to flee from his home in Mecca.
Right.
This event subsequently marked that year as the year 1 of the Mohammedan calendar, for it was Muhammad's arrival at the neighboring town of Yathrib, renamed Medina,
When he conquered it. Go ahead.
which began a series of successes that established Islam. Jewish critics. Muhammad fully expect to find among the Jews greater appreciation than he did among the pagan Arabs. It seemed to him that he had taken over so many elements of Judaism that the Jews ought to hail him as their leader and recognize in him the great prophet and redeemer of mankind, for whose coming they were hoping.
So he assumed because he was teaching something similar to what they were teaching, they were going to fall in line and lead under him as their leader. This guy was speaking a narcissist. Bugged out. Go ahead.
But the Jews from among the Jewish tribes that lived in or near Yathrib would have nothing to do with him.
Because he ain't our people. He ain't like us. Go ahead.
They saw him a man no better than any other. For in his personal life, Muhammad was not much more moral than his pagan relatives.
Yep.
They laughed at him for his ignorance of the Bible.
Go ahead.
For Muhammad had never really studied it thoroughly, and as a result, made some bad mistakes.
When you go through that Quran, there's vast mistakes. Vast mistakes. He borrowed from the Talmud. He borrowed from the Talmud also. He gave corrupt versions of the Bible, how it's told. Ishmael was the chosen one rather than Isaac. Just madness, bro. He did not know the Bible. And we, Ahl al-Kitab, people of the book, we mocked him. Okay? Go ahead. Like I'm doing these past few weeks. Go ahead.
They absolutely refused to have anything to do with some of the methods and ideas which Muhammad set forth. For many pagan customs remained part of the Islam he preached.
Read it again.
They absolutely refused to have anything to do with some of the methods and ideas which Muhammad set forth.
Why?
For many pagan customs remained part of Islam he preached.
Many pagan customs remained. Like what custom? Leviticus 26, verse 1. What custom could that be that remained among them that we're not to do? Leviticus 26 and verse 1.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 26 and verse 1. Ye shall make no idols, nor graven image, neither rear you up a standing image.
A standing image. Go ahead.
Neither shall ye set any image of stone.
Image of what?
Stone.
What?
Stone.
Stone. Go ahead.
In your land.
Come on.
To bow down unto it.
To do what?
To bow down unto it.
To bow down to it. Does that sound familiar? Go ahead.
For I am the Lord your God.
I am your God. Not Allah. I am your God. Don't do that. Don't do what they're doing in this thing right here on the screen. Don't do what they're doing there. Go back.
Hey, Deke, they just recently got judged for doing this. It was like, what, over 1,000 of them died over heat strokes?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
They was all, I think even some of our people.
They're Nahaj?
Doing Nahaj.
Yeah.
Some of our people got caught up in that too, I just heard.
Mm-hmm.
That was over there. Yep.
Recently?
Recently. This happened recently.
Wow.
This year.
It was hot as hell then.
A few months ago.
They say it was like 120 over there. Dancing around the rock.
Wow.
Yep. They were horrified by
I guess
his.
they all went to hell then.
Yeah.
According to
Apparently.
Can't make this up.
They were horrified by his claim of being superior to Moses. Soon, Muhammad realized that with very few exceptions, the Jews would not follow him. He became angry, filled his new revelations with accusations against the Jews, and decided to destroy them. Division, disunion, and death. Had the Jewish tribes joined forces to oppose Muhammad, they would surely have defeated him and saved themselves. But mutual jealousies among them kept them apart.
Here we go, man. So this guy, Muhammad, got mad at us. We wouldn't follow him. He made us his enemy, and now he turns on us, and because we're divided among ourselves, we can't defend ourselves against this dude. Read again.
But mutual jealousies among them kept them apart.
Oh, gosh, man. Go ahead.
Muhammad attacked the Jewish tribes one by one, destroying each one in turn.
That's how he gained the power he gained. He conquered us first and took our possessions, took our land, our wealth. Go ahead.
Confiscating their property, sometimes killing the men and enslaving the women.
Killing the men and doing what?
Enslaving the women.
Killing the men and what?
Enslaving the women.
Killing the men and enslaving the women. Killing the men and enslaving the women. Real
Joel
quick,
3.
I want, huh?
Joel 3.
Yeah, I thought
Oh, I'm
you
gonna get
was
that.
about to
We'll
say,
get
yeah.
that. We'll get Joel 3. Let's go there. In the meantime, you get that. I want you to look up Google Sahih Muslim 1456A. So SAHIH Muslim 1456A. Okay, go down. Yep, hold that. Now, open another window. Type in Surah, SURAH, and go to 424. Okay, you got it? Surah, no, 4. I'm sorry, 4, chapter 4, verse 24. Put a colon in between the 24. A colon.
Oh God.
Okay, put an
Oh.
L there. Woo!
We're back. IT
All right,
back.
all right.
bad.
Okay,
All
go
praises.
back to the Sahih. Now Sahih, this is the Arabic. Sahih means it's strong, it's authentic. Hassan means it's good, as in it's trustworthy. Well, I mean, Sahih means it's authentic, it's trustworthy. Hassan means it's good, and Da'if means it's false, it's weak, regarding the verse in terms of authenticity. So if it's Sahih Bukhari, oftentimes they accept it. For the most part, they accept it. So go there, Sahih Muslim, read what it says there.
Sahih Muslim 1456A.
Go down to sunnah.com, go there, click that. The suckling, yes. Blow it up.
The Book of Suckling.
Oh, God. Blow it up. I don't get you. We're going to say something. Let me see. Yes, read that. Read it.
Abu Sa'id al-Khudri,
Kudri.
Allah, her pleased with him, reported that at the battle of Hunain, Allah's messenger sent an army to Ataz and encountered the enemy and fought with them.
Watch.
Having overcome them
Having overcome them in war, this is Muhammad's rule. Watch this.
and taken them captives,
Remember he did to our women, took them captive, the Jews. Watch this.
the companions of Allah's messenger made peace upon him.
May peace be upon him. That's to say over time, Muhammad. Go ahead.
Seem to refrain from having intercourse with captive women because of their husbands being polytheists.
Right, pagans, they're saying. Go ahead.
Then Allah, Most High, sent down regarding that.
So watch this. So Allah sent them. So he didn't touch the women who are married, right? Read what it says here.
And women already married, except those whom your right hands possess.
Those whom your right hands possess are your captives. Those whom your right hand possess are your captives. Read on.
They were lawful for them when their iddah period came to an end.
Ishda means after 3 months you can bang them. So when they conquered the men, all right, they conquered the men and women, whether it was Arab or Jews. Allah came down and said to Muhammad, listen, if they're captive, you can sleep with them. It don't matter if they're married or not. You can still lay with them. So if a woman has a husband that's alive, I'm going to show you. If she has a husband that's alive, you can lay with her. That's rape. Go to the next thing I had you go to.
The Surah
Yeah,
4:24.
Uh-huh.
The Surah, chapter 4, verse 24
Uh-huh.
of the Quran states, and all married women except those whom your right hand possess.
Except your captives. Go ahead.
This is Allah's ordinance to you.
This is their God's ordinance. Go ahead.
And lawful for you are all women besides those, provided that ye seek them with your property, taking them in marriage, not committing fornication.
So you could take them, all married women except those whom your right hands possess, you could take them in marriage and commit fornication with them. That's our women. It's lawful. Go to Sunan, S-U-N-A-N. Sunan, S-U-N-A-N, and type in 2155. Yep, Abi Dawood. Click that. Go down, read that here.
Abi Sa'id al-Khudri said,
The Apostle Allah, go ahead.
the apostle of Allah sent a military expedition to Atwas on the occasion of the Battle of Hunain. They met their enemy and fought with them. They defeated them and took them captives. Some of the companions of Apostle of Allah were reluctant to have relations with the female captives because of their pagan husbands.
Because their husbands were alive. Go ahead.
So Allah, the Exalted, sent down the Quranic verse, and all married women are forbidden unto you save those captives whom your right hand possess.
Go ahead.
This is to say that they are lawful for them when they complete their waiting period.
Ihda. Ihda means 3 months. So the husbands are alive, you can still sleep with them while the husbands are alive. That's rape.
Damn.
They're not gonna say, yeah, take me, have me. It's by force. Damn. So Allah allows rape. Allah allows rape. Now, give me Quran 70:22. Type in Quran chapter 70, verse 22.
Hey, D,
Yep.
that's why Isaiah 14 says the Medes and the Arabs, they're going to ravish the wives.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why. Type in Quran, the Qurans. Oh, gosh, the hell?
He said Quran.
Quran. A-N. Okay.
I know, Deacon, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 30, we usually use that for, with Esau.
Yeah, nope.
But
Arabs
now,
too.
This is the Arabs.
We're going to go through that in a minute. We're going to go through that. We're going to go to Joel 3, Joel 28. We're going to go through that. Click that. Click that. I think that should be it. Okay, click continue. Let me see. Okay, what does that say? Let me see. 22. Blow it up. I can't see it. Except those who pray. Go down. Songs to be performing. Go down. Go down to verse 30. Let me see 30. Wait. Slow. Go down. Yep, go up. And those who guard their chastity. Go up some. Up. Go up some. Go up. Go up. Go down. Sorry, go down. I think it's referring to women here. Go down to verse 28. Knowing that, just read that there. Read that. It's referring to women. Read that.
Knowing that none should feel secure from their Lord's punishment.
Go ahead.
And those who guard their chastity.
Guard their virginity. Go ahead. Chastity. Go ahead.
Except with their wives are those bondwomen in their
So
possession.
to the men. On those who guard their chastity, except with their wives or what?
Bondwomen.
Go ahead.
In their possession. For then they are free from blame.
So they can do whatever they want to do with their bondwomen without blame. Not to their Arab women, but to their slave women. That's our sisters they were doing it to. Go ahead.
But whoever seeks beyond, there are the transgressors.
You go beyond what you do to your bondwoman, to your own women, that's transgression. Let that go. Get 23, chapter 23, Quran again, 23, verse 5 and 6. Chapter 23, verse 5 and 6. Chapter 1, go to verse 5. Yep. Go down, click that. What does it say there? Let me see. It says it again. Read that.
Those who guard their chastity.
Go down. Except what?
Except with their wives are those bondwomen in their possession. For then they are free from blame.
They are free from blame. Now go give me Joel now.
The book of Joel, chapter 3 and verse 3. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot.
Given a boy for made the men breeders. Go ahead. Boys also sold boys as well. Go ahead.
And sold a girl for wine.
And sold the women for wine. Go ahead.
That they might drink.
And do whatever they want with the women. And do whatever they want. And you go to the book I have called Black Holocaust. The Arabs were the worst. I had that book over here somewhere in my bag. They were the worst. Black Holocaust by forgot who authored it. But it's called Black Holocaust. He goes into that. The trans-Saharan slave trade, they were terrible to us. Right. They have illustrations of what they were doing to our sisters. I'll find it, matter of fact. Y'all go ahead and talk. Let me find that thing.
Hey, let's get Isaiah 14 really quick, just to talk about how what Deacon's saying is about Islam. They believe you can rape wives. Read that. The Bible prophesies about everything.
Got it right here. By S.E. Anderson.
Are you good now, D?
No, go ahead and talk. I'm
Okay,
going to have him take pictures of it.
Get Isaiah 14 and read verse 16.
Isaiah chapter
13, sorry. 13, verse 16.
Isaiah chapter 13, verse 16.
Uh-huh.
Their children also shall be dashed to pieces.
So this is talking about what the Medes and the Arabs are going to do
Take
to
this.
Edom. Read on.
Page 31 to 34.
Their children also shall be dashed to pieces
Uh-huh.
before their eyes.
Read on.
Their houses shall be spoiled.
Their houses shall be spoiled. Read on.
And their wives ravished.
And their what?
Wives ravished.
Ravish means raped. Why? Because Allah permits for wives to be raped.
Yep.
So the Lord already prophesied that they was going to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. So, get Deuteronomy, would you just read this now?
Isaiah 13.
Get Deuteronomy 28, verse 30. No, I want. Deuteronomy 28, the curses. Deuteronomy 28.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her.
Yeah, we always use it for Esau, but it's Ishmael too. They ravished our women, they raped our women too, took the men captive, or killed the men, and then took our women captive. That's our daughters. Oh, how could I leave that out? There's a law about sleeping with children. I couldn't leave that out.
Bring it
Couldn't
out.
leave that out. What? Let's get it. Let me go there and show it to you. Read the verse again.
Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her.
Another man shall lie with her. Now, get me hold on a second. Lay with sleeping pedophilia. Yeah, I have categories here. Sunan, S-U-N-A-N, 3378. It's a hadith. Sunan, 3378. That should be it. Let me look at it. Yeah, click that. Yeah, that should be it. The book of marriage. Yep. They call that they call marriage what they call marriage, but I don't care. Read that. The messenger what?
The messenger of Allah married me when I was 6. And
This is Aisha. This is Muhammad's child wife. Married her when?
when I was 6.
The messenger, Muhammad married his wife when she was 6 years old. Go ahead.
And consummated the marriage with me when I was 9.
Banged her when she was 9. He was around 50-something. Go ahead.
And I used to play with dogs.
Because she was a child.
Damn.
Because she was a child. I know.
Damn.
Get me Quran 65:4. 65 chapter 4. Chapter 65 verse 4. I'm sorry. 65 verse 4. 65 verse 4. Then we read earlier about the waiting period. Ihda. I-D-D-A. It's called ihda. That means 3 months. Click that there. That should be it. Blow it up. Blow it up, blow it up, blow it up. This is Quran now. That was hadith earlier. This is Quran for you. Read that.
As for your women past the age of
Menstruation.
menstruation,
Meaning they're old. They're menopause. These are old women, older women. Go ahead, past their prime. They're over. Go ahead.
menstruation. In case you do not know, their waiting period is 3 months.
Ihda. That's 3 months. They wait. So when you get to lay with them, you got if they were married before and they're older, you wait 3 months so you can lay with them. Go ahead.
And those who have not menstruated,
Those
as
who
well,
have not menstruated at all means they're what? They're underage. Underage. Go ahead.
as for those who are pregnant, their waiting period ends with delivery.
Go ahead.
And whoever is mindful of Allah, He will make their matters easy for them.
Right. So that means it says before their menstrual, you can lay with them. Before they have their menstrual, that means they're young. Remember, Aisha was 6. He banged her at 9. When they can take, it says when they can take it, you give it to them. Penis.
It's an evil world.
So this is what y'all believe. Don't get mad at me.
All right.
Let's see. Get me Sahih, S, just in case you don't believe that. Oh, that can mean she's young. Okay. Give me underage. Get me, go to QuranX.com.
That's inordinate affection, right? D? That's
Inordinate affection, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely.
We got a call. Hold on. We got get QuranX.com.
No, we don't got a call.
You don't? Oh, get QuranX.com and type in Google. Hold on, wait. Put X together. Put X together with Quran. Okay, go back. Move it over. No, wait. Stop. Then space. Type in Sahih 3:12. Type in Sahih. No, what's happening?
I think this is more than they brain can comprehend at this
Oh,
point.
man.
Right now, D.
No, no.
Speak
might-
English.
Ca-
You
ca-
gotta speak Arabic.
QuranX.com space
You might have to text it to him.
Sahih.
Copy.
Sahih 3:12. SHSAHIH. SAHIH 3:12. Dot space 3:12. 3:12. Yes.
There you go.
Press the button. All right. Hit that right there. Yes. Oh shit. Okay, no, get out of there. Go out of there. I don't want that. That's too many things. Go down right there. Hit that. 3:12. Here we go. Blow it up. Well, do what you gotta do. I don't know. Fix that. We can see it. There we go. Read that.
Anas B. Malik, while recounting the night journey of the prophet from the mosque of Kaaba, reported 3 beings, angels, came to him in the mosque of the Kaaba while he was asleep.
No. That's
not it.
Give me hold on. Let me see. Let me see. It's Sahih al-Bukhari 3:12. Menstrual clothes. No. Let me see. 3 months. 65. No, go to. Okay, yeah. Type in earlier. Go to Quran 65. Quran X. Quran. Then type in Quran 65:4. Yeah, Quran 65:4 explains it. No. .com. No. Stay there. .com. Com. Surah. Surah. Chapter 65. 4. That should be it. There we go. Click that right there. That should be it. There we go. Read that. That's what I want.
All right, the Surah 65, verse 4.
Tafsir means explanation. That's how it's an it's in the explanation. It's called the tafsir, which, by the way, the Jews and Christians were used to write tafsirs to explain their Quran, which I don't know why. Anyway, read that, please. It's going to explain. We read earlier, 65 verse 4. This explains it. Read that.
And for such of your women as despair of menstruation because of old age,
There you go. Read that earlier. That's what I said earlier. Go ahead.
if you doubt about their waiting period, their period of waiting shall be 3 months.
The Ida waiting period. Go ahead.
Upon which another man asked, O messenger of Allah, what about the waiting period of those who do not have menstruation because they are too
young. Because they're too young. Prepubescent. Go ahead.
along with those who have it not because of young age.
Go ahead.
Their waiting period is
3 months. What? Children. Just Aisha. Children. Make it make sense. Y'all follow this, man? Go ahead.
Another man asked, what is the waiting period for those women who are pregnant and for those with child? Those who are pregnant, their waiting period shall be till they bring forth their burden, their child.
So that's it. So underage children. Underage children. But Allah gave order, according to your hadith, to sleep with children. You cannot make this up, man. So they took women captive. It wasn't just grown women. It was children, too. Little black girls being molested by these freak show Arabs. They got them pages now. I want y'all to get out that book. Black Holocaust. 31 and 34. All praise. Let me get the book. Put it up there. I'm going to show you what they were doing. Some illustrations. This is called Black Holocaust by S.E. Anderson. He goes into the Atlantic slave trade. He goes into the trans-Saharan slave trade. Okay? This book right here. Yep, there you go.
The Black Holocaust for Beginners
The S.E. Anderson.
by S.E. Anderson.
31, page 31. Yep. See what it says there?
A change in the relationship between Arabs and East Africans began to set in around 650 A.D., a time when Europe was a third world country that would
Still is. Without Africa, it's a third world country. Without Africa, resources. Go ahead.
that would wait another 200 years before being introduced to civilization by the Moors of Africa.
Go out. Next page. But we'll go down right there. Read that right highlighted part.
The Arab slave trade lasted from the 652 AD Arab-Nubian slave treaty until 1890.
It's a lie. It's still happening right now, secretly, covertly. Go ahead.
Africans were sold into slavery.
Israelites were sold. Go ahead.
Were sold into slavery for money or things, porcelain, silk, and other fine fabric from the Asia.
Go ahead. Go down next page. Go it up.
What the highlight?
Many of the enslaved Africans were infamous.
Many of the enslaved Africans sold at the infamous Ujiji market were brought from regions far to the west of Lake
Tanganyika.
Tanganyika. During the crossing of Lake Tanganyika, the slaves were made to sit double up in the bottom of canoes.
Made to sit what?
Doubled up in the bottom of canoes.
Slave ships.
Dang.
Slave ships. They're called dhows. 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 Go ahead.
This is war.
So closely packed that by the time Ujiji was reached, a quarter had succumbed, although the distance across the lake was scarcely 200 miles.
We died from suffocation. You two cramped together. Go down.
Near the slave market lay an uncultivated piece of ground, the cemetery, where not only the dead, but the dying, too, were cast. Hyenas, very numerous, gorged on human flesh.
Hours.
And were so sated that bodies were left half devoured.
Next page. This is Arabs. Next page. Yep. Read that there. What do you see there? I see the album right there. The album right there. Watching. And it says you can do what you want to those who your right hand possesses. Read that there. Given what?
Given the reality that the Muslim slave trade was 2-to-1 women to fill the demand for concubines, we can reasonably assume that many of the leaders of the resistant movement among enslaved Africans were women.
Go ahead.
This gives us a new and different perspective on slavery and slave revolts. It was not just about the destruction of African manhood. It was also about the destruction of African womanhood.
Because they would castrate the men and rape our women. Go ahead. Read on. The availability.
The availability of concubines, moreover, offered a Muslim man a measure of relief from the unhappiness of a marriage that was sexually ungratifying.
They were not allowed to put their wives in certain positions. They couldn't do certain sexual things with their women that they could do with ours. So you think they did it with our women, they couldn't do it with their own. Go ahead.
Before purchasing a slave whom he intended to use as a concubine, a Muslim man was careful to make sure that she was responsive to his amorous advances. This could be managed in the privacy of special stalls that were set aside in slave markets for the
special stalls. So basically, conjugal visits. Basically, special stalls they use our women for. Sex booths. Go ahead.
Set aside in slave markets for the close examination of female slaves by prospective buyers. Here, men would take liberties with these hapless girls.
How old?
12 to 18 years old.
It wasn't just 12. It was younger than that. Go ahead.
In a manner they would not dream of when courting a Muslim woman they wished to marry.
See? 34. Next page. Blow it up. 34. Is that it?
Right here.
Right there. Look at that there. See, he's doing, got his hand on his sister. Read that there.
You would notice that both Europe and Asia roughly quadrupled 400% in size during the 350-year period between 1650 and 1900.
Go down. The Saeed was my what? Right there.
The Saeed was my neighbor and was very dark. He used to carouse with the young men in the camp, one of whom was as dark as he was.
Go to the right. Let us be clear. I'll get to the point.
Let us be clear. It was the Arabs who set the foundations for exporting Africans.
It was the Arabs who set the foundations for the exporting of the Israelites out of Africa. Go ahead.
For taking the people of Africa to strange and horrible lands.
Iran, Iraq, China, America, all over the world. The Arabs were the main exporters of us. Go ahead. Or providers of us to the Portuguese traders. Go ahead.
But Africans were not considered capital by the Arabs, as they were by capitalists. It was true that many Arabs saw Africans
Arabs saw Israelites as what?
As inferior human beings.
And what?
Destined for bondage.
What they say about us?
Destined for bondage.
Because we were called what? The people of the book. They read our book and they learned we were destined to be enslaved, going against our God. So they knew they can defeat us. Because we were destined for bondage. All right? So these Arabs are not innocent. That's why I'm going hard against them. I don't like Islam. I don't like it at all.
This is war.
I don't like Muhammad. I don't like that people. I don't like any of them. I don't have care for them for that reason. I want my people out of that ideology. They can have their Allah. They can be pedophiles all they want. the Arabs. But you black folks, Hispanics, I want you out of that. Go return to your people, return to your God, return to your laws. Let the Arabs have their little Pokemon. Let's go back where we was at.
Hey, D, that's Lamentations 2.
Yeah, let's get that. 2 and 16,
2 and
2:15.
16, 2:15.
Yeah. Lamentations 2. So I don't care for that dude. I don't care for Muhammad at all for that very reason.
Lamentations chapter 2 and verse
Hold on,
16.
look at it.
15? Or you want to start?
You can start at 15. Probably a little.
Hold on. 14.
Lamentations chapter 2 and verse 14. Thy prophets have seen vain and foolish things for thee, and they have not discovered thine iniquity, to turn away thy captivity.
Our people, the leaders of our people were not doing right by us. They were teaching us the wrong things, or not teaching us at all. Go ahead.
But I've seen for thee false burdens
Teaching lies to us. Go ahead.
and causes of banishment.
And teaching us ways to get ourselves kicked out of our own land from our God. Go ahead.
All that pass by clap their hands at thee.
All the nations pass by and go, ha ha ha. They got kicked out the land. Ha ha, it's good. Go ahead.
They hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem.
Look at them. They got exiled. Look at them in Africa. Look at them over here hiding from the Romans. Ha ha ha. Go ahead.
Saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth?
You guys are the chosen people living over here, exiled from your land. Go ahead.
All thine enemies
All who?
All thine enemies.
Some.
All thine enemies.
A few of them.
All thine enemies.
All thine enemies. All thine enemies do what?
Have opened their mouth against thee.
Go ahead.
They hiss and gnash the teeth.
They say what?
They say, we have swallowed her up.
When you swallow something, you swallow up, right? Regarding food. What happens first? You chew it up first. When you chew it up, you break it down. Then you swallow it. So our people have been chewed up, swallowed down, destroyed. Destroyed. Right. Destroyed as a nation. All right, read on.
We have swallowed her.
That's why they say we're in the belly of the beast. That's the expression. We're in the belly. We are literally chewed up, swallowed down, destroyed in the belly of the beast. Go ahead.
We have swallowed her up. Certainly, this is the day that we looked for.
Certainly, this is the day we've been waiting for, to destroy them, consume them, and rule over them. Go ahead.
We have found.
We have found. Go ahead.
We have seen it.
Where? Where'd they find and see it at? In the Bible.
Right.
In here. The nations have all kinds of vaults and libraries and what do you call it? Storage areas with all of the Smithsonian, the Vatican. They have all these things. Our records, they have it. Storehouses, they have it. Access to it. They read it. They study us. They know who we are. Go ahead.
Verse 17. The Lord hath done that which he hath devised. He hath fulfilled his word that he had commanded in the days of old. He hath thrown down and hath not pitied, and he hath caused thine enemy to rejoice over thee. He hath set up the horn of thine enemies.
And he set up the horn
Adversaries.
of our
Adversaries.
Of our adversaries. Well, same thing. Our adversaries. So now they rule over us. We got a call? We got a call. Put them in before we go on break. We got 5 more minutes. We got 5 minutes to spare for the break. We got a call?
Yep. Hey, Shalom, Carlos. Your name? Where you from? Oh, we got on Zoom.
Yeah, man. Zoom, man.
Oh, it's our first Zoom call, Deke.
Hey. All right.
Dang, can we get a clap?
It's our first
Hey,
Zoom
all
call,
praises,
man.
all
Our first Zoom
praises.
call. Come on, man. Round of applause. Round of applause. It's our first guy call us on Zoom. Hello? I can't see him.
Shalom.
Hey, shalom, brother. What's on, Grace Bless? What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Just tuning into your class and just interested about the Jews and the Arab nations, like because you guys are trying to find the dispersed out all over. So I thought I'd see if you had any information on these Jews. They're called Lemba. Lemba.
Yeah, they're in Africa. That's us too. We're scattered all over the world, but the Lembas are acknowledged as Jews as well.
Yep.
The Lemba,
Yeah,
the Igbo of Nigeria, them too.
Right.
The Beta Israel, who they call Falashas, There are people too over there in Israel who are airlifted over there. Those are people too. You have us over there in India as well. Afro-Iraq, Afro-Iran, Afro-Syria. There's a lot. We're all over the world. We're all over the world. So we have found
you,
this.
yeah, you already know about them. Then the ones in Yemen.
Yemen, yes. The Yemenite, yes. We're over there as well. Yes. I haven't seen them. I have seen them, but they don't really show them too much in mainstream media. But we're out there too. They oftentimes put the term Afro in front of them so you know it's us. Living in those
Okay,
lands.
all praises.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I know, you remember Yemen's right across from Ethiopia. It's right across. So they tend to sail back and forth.
Right.
They tend to sail back and forth from Ethiopia to Yemen and back and forth. I'm not sure they're doing it now, but we used to do that before.
Yeah, it says in the book I got they originate from the Zimbabwe
Yeah.
tribe.
Yeah, Zimbabwe. Get a map real fast where Zimbabwe is. 'Cause I'm not sure. I think it's where's
East
it?
Africa.
It's East Africa, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it's right there, right across the water.
That's where they took a lot of us as slaves in the Indian
Yes,
Ocean.
yes.
From there.
They call us the Zanj.
The Zanj people, yes. They took us to
Zanzibar.
China, they took us to Japan, they took us to Iran. So they're called the Zanj people. And we're going to go into that eventually. We're going to touch on that in time to come, in time. What's your
Okay,
name? Where you
please.
from? I didn't get your name or where you're from. I'm sorry.
Brother Zacharias, IUIC Edmonton.
Okay. IUSC where?
Edmonton.
Edmonton. Okay.
Where's that at?
Where's that at?
Doesn't
Canada. We're like.
Oh, wow. Okay. All praises. All
All
right.
praises.
All praises. All praises.
Yeah. Shout out Canada.
You the first Zoom call, bro. All praise to the Most High, man. You the first Zoom call we ever had.
What tribe you
Yeah,
from,
What
man?
tribe you from?
God.
Oh, of
Oh,
course. I can see
man.
your face. All praises.
Right.
All
It's
praise.
like we see it in office over here.
Jazz look happy to see him. All praise to the Most High.
All praise. All praise.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Any more questions you have for us? Any more questions you got?
No. I just appreciate all the work you're doing. This is my favorite class.
All praises,
So-
man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know we got a lot of information regarding Gad in the older shows. When you go to the old shows,
Yeah.
we touch on other kids a lot.
I've been going through the shows and I've been trying to get some books from the shows.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we use them when we go to powwows.
Wow.
We line up all the history books and we bring out history.
Mhm.
I more so bring out the history, and then the brothers bring out the scripture.
Mhm.
The leadership brings out the scriptures because I don't have rank, so I
Right.
can't teach scriptures. But I can show some history at least.
Okay. All praises,
High.
man. That's
All
good. All
praises.
praises, man. How was the reception? Do people receive it when you bring that stuff out to them? The history books?
Gad,
Yeah.
they're a lot of them are afraid of the Bible.
Yeah.
So I try to open up with history.
Mm-hmm.
And then cross-reference it to the Bible, and then the brothers teach. So I kind of, how we approach it is Gad loves the missing persons posters and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So we give them the missing persons poster, and they love that stuff.
Mhm.
And then we say, you can call this number if any of your family or friends go missing in this area, because we pass these around at all the powwows.
Mhm.
And then they'll see the flyer. I'll give them the flyer with it, and then tell them to call that number if anyone goes missing. And then a lot of times they ask about what's this other stuff on the flyer, and that's how I open up with it.
Ah.
And then
Okay.
So
all
you gotta
praises,
be
man.
strategic with
You gotta
that.
be tactful. Very
Tactful
good.
with it.
Yeah.
That's good.
All
Well,
praises.
all praise to the Most High, man. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for calling us. All praise
Yeah,
to the
all
Most High,
praise.
man. First call.
Right.
All right. Well, also, man, next time, call us again next time for any more further questions. Y'all can call us again. Y'all can call in after the break. If you got any questions regarding the class or any basic questions, we'll answer. All right, so we're going to go on a quick break. We'll be right back with some more information regarding this psychopath, Muhammad. We'll be right back.
Hey, shalom,
All
brother
right.
Zacharias.
Shalom,
Shalom,
Zacharias.
brother.
Most
Thanks
high
for
Christ
the
bless,
call.
brother.
Stay in the spirit.
Shalom, Zacharias bless.
Most High
Stay
Christ.
strong out there, man. Shalom. Most high Christ bless.
All
All right, y'all. See y'all soon.
The prophecy is that the two kingdoms shall become one. They shall join together in the last days.
I think what you're seeing is a lot of leaders
quick. What's y'all's names real fast?
Imelda Rico.
Okay.
Lenny Ramirez.
If you could use one word to describe what you see going on right here, what would you say?
Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
When was the last time you seen something like this?
I never seen this in my life.
How old are you?
I'm 13.
Okay.
En mi vida yo nunca había mirado algo así tan bonito. Nunca. It's like I believe in you. Oh. I really do, and I love this.
Do you know what you might be seeing right here? Do you know?
It's like something for the Bible, something like that.
Go ahead.
I mean, in my life, I never seen this before. It's my first day. Nunca.
Hey, what this is God's army, and this includes y'all. What nationality would you say you guys are from?
I'm from El Salvador.
El Salvador? ¿Y tú?
From Mexico.
Okay. So the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are God's chosen people. We are all the same people, and we're coming back to that understanding here in these last days, okay?
Introduce what they call Israelite Christ. Hey, what else? Black why do they say that? They said Northern Kingdom don't exist. That's what they said. They said Northern Kingdom don't exist. We are still not the sons of God. That's what they said. They hide you. You brothers are first fruits. We the first fruits. That's what you gonna do. Get off your ass, stay in order, and let's go. Let's go.
¿Quién es el rey? ¡Cristo! ¿Quién es el rey? ¡Cristo! ¿De qué color es? ¡Negro! ¿De qué color es? ¡Negro! ¿Quiénes somos? ¡Israelitas! ¿Quiénes somos? ¡Israelitas!
Down from heaven.
All different tones of brown are all coming together. This is what we need more of.
Beautiful. Everybody's united. That's how it should be.
Bro, I didn't think nobody cared no more. Really didn't see it, man. So thank you guys again.
Sons of God! We're gonna take this city. We're gonna take the kingdom. We're gonna rule them hard. This is war! This is war! This is war!
I'm here for the win, well, to get it again. The Lord call it taking the kingdom, want what's mine. Taking my time, turning and taking your freedom. Risen from the ashes, after the lashes, call it a beautiful tragedy. We've been on the brink of insanity. It's the end of your days like calamity. Adding in, grab a friend for the finale. Curtain call on a heathen. We want forever and a day. Why would the pastor lie and say it's your season? Drop a bomb on them, Hiroshima. Drop a bomb on them cause they need it. Scrub it down, planet need a cleaning. Vagabond gone like I'm dreaming.
Call the troops. Call the troops. Somebody better call the troops. Look, go get the troops. Hey, look, chunk a deuce to the dukes, putting mouths on the boost. We was cursed on the trees, now we back to our roots. Nigga mute, never seen a God call a truce. Holy Ghost with the power, I'ma die in this truth. You a fluke, and why did you could never be a Jew? ADL stand for Amalek is destined to lose. Got canary birds chirping to the sound of the tune. When a bird tell a hunter how the hell he can shoot. When a slave tell a king how the hell he can rule. When a boat tell the sea how the hell it can move. Guess the world on his head, put it back on his tools. If you see the purple coming, it's return of the Jews. Nigga mute.
Nigga mute, roar like the line boldly. Full of house of kings, we flush the lies royally. We the ace of spades, so you can't fold me. Word
words like fire, so you can't scold me. Louis the lip, cast the brass the cashes, strip cut like lances, leave scratches and gashes, prophecy ignite like matches and gases. Lord, give us beauty for ashes. Now we on a quest, crying aloud, we waking the masses. Watch for serpents, venomous snakes in the grasses. Mortified members, we dropped in a casket. Breathe life into these bones, we raised like Lazarus. Nigga mute.
Nigga mute, it's quiet on the set. When the purple hit they block, they quiet on the set. Get respect, no flex, they smell a savor of death. Play silver skull and separate from your neck. The game is all rigged, you can call it a prefix. Flow sick, the next 10 plagues on Egypt, I'm focused. My foes better cease and desist. We equip with God body, hard to restrict. From Basra to the place of Allah, I God the rock, clear him out like I drop. Prime time repent, it won't be easy. Stone carved out the mountain by the smiting me each feet. Nigga mute.
Live, nigga mute. Original Royal, fervent heat, Nigga mute, especially if you ain't speaking truth. Jaleel throw the beat as alley-oop, cause this word they can't refute. They thought we would crash, but we rebuke, cause these internet prophets can't compute, cause they words minute. Strong like drink is absolute. They tried to try right ankle, that's acute, but clearly they ain't know we was astute. We take the truth to new heights, so if I fall, I'ma need a parachute. Bishop on deck, stand right hand salute. Planet in its truth, nigga, I am Groot. Demons try to challenge, get rebuked. Apple with the Lord's eye, homie, you gon' know us by our fruits. Nigga mute.
Nigga mute for our God, we stand boldly. Breastplate, feet shotted, a nigga can't fold me. Truly strapped up, that's the old me. Now we strap loose, crease cargo pants with purple and a gold tee. Flex on your block like an OG. Sail cross sea and touch land, prophesy where the Jews be. Scopers talking shit, that's usually treacherous men who lack judgment, envious and speak foolishly. This ain't a facade, it's the return of the black gods. Mobilizing your city, you might think it's the goon squad. Headliners, we cry loud, spread the news out. Turn the world up right, prophets giving the clues out. Nigga mute.
Nigga mute, Antigua and Barbuda. 5 camps, whole gang of caps and more shooters. Come against the gods and the laws, we going through ya. Cut you with a 2-edged sword, we gon' reprove ya. This quest 7, casting out demons and purging 11. Making plain the way of the gates to get to heaven. 133 and a 1, that's for the brethren. Then a 2, 3 and a 1, that's for your reverend. You hate the Lord, we showing force, it's Maranatha. Scarfed camp, the commanders, a man handle ya. Single-minded, if you not, it's hard to follow ya. Hit the briefings, holla at cap for audibles. Nigga mute. Nigga mute.
Flying witches and school buses, we can imagine anything, thinking we got to prove something. Hating never move nothing. As you can see, yeah, you static, cause you void these commandments, won't keep the lease. Like envy, gon' bring you pieces. That envy that makes you weak, it's that envy that turns to enmity. Enmity never ceasing, you thinking that you can chase it, you chasing what you can't see. See progression come through these scriptures ain't in you reach. You blind and covered in hatred, that hatred rings off your teeth, and you faking like you've been racing. You racing without the key and pretend to keep up an image has been deceased. You're leaking, soaked in your ignorance on the leash. Walking but you can't speak, darkness won't let you leave. Call it what you gon' call it, them garments laid at your feet. And now Satan's spirit, she raping you, baiting you with deceit. And now jealousy got the best of the hater is all you be. Nigga mute. Nigga mute.
No, that ain't a lot, that's a legion. 144K on the way and they pledge their allegiance to cremate these heathens. Damn, ashes to ashes and dust to dust. Had to peel out this flesh cause I couldn't trust it. Got a spiritual body, you couldn't touch it. If you dying to test it, then try your luck. That's the one up, don't run up, get done up. Loaded clip full of scripts, I'ma pull it. The word is my weapon, the word is my shield. I'm equipped for these spiritual bullets. They shoot at the perfect in secret. Reading these laws, it ain't flaw, so I keep it. Shout out to bishops and shout out to deacons, captains and officers. I see the reason they say what we doing is treason.
It's hard to find a lady, but Boys and Girls Club. Everyone was actually pretty nice, and we learned about young women and how they are affected by possibly sexual abuse, the things that go on in their neighborhood. So it's good that the women were talking on different topics, being specific and directing from the Bible, because it helps. And it could encourage other kids or women or even adult women to refer back to the Bible, because that's where we learn everything.
With Passover right around the corner, IUIC will now be presenting Passover Boom Cards, the ideal tool used to teach our prophets and princesses the biblical history of Passover. They are also available in English and Spanish, so don't hesitate to grab your very own deck of boom cards at wow.boomlearning.com/author/IUIC.
So journey, O Father, anoint us with thy Holy Spirit.
Back from the break. All right, let's just jump back into it. Go to page. Oh, get.
You want it, Jeremiah?
Yeah, give me Jeremiah, Shatiel. You had something earlier?
Yes, sir. Just concerning what y'all was bringing out earlier. The other nations definitely understood. They had our records. They knew exactly what they were doing and why they were doing it. And this captain right here is about to prove that. Jeremiah chapter 40 and verse 1.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 40 and verse 1. The word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord, after that Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, had let him go from Ramah, when he had taken him being bound in chains among all that were carried away captive of Jerusalem and Judah, which were carried away captive unto Babylon.
Now watch what the captain says, verse 2.
And the captain of the guard took Jeremiah and said unto him, the Lord thy God hath pronounced this evil upon this place.
How would the captain, a Babylonian captain, know what the Lord thy God pronounced for Jerusalem? How would he know that Babylon was going to be taken captive by Nebuchadnezzar? How would he understand that? Keep going.
Now the Lord hath brought it, and done according as he hath said, because ye have sinned against the Lord, and have not obeyed his voice. Therefore, this thing is come upon you.
Like the leadership was bringing out earlier, that was always in the books. They always kept records of our stuff. They always followed our history. That's why in Judah 5 and 20, the same thing happened where the captain told his leader, he said, yo, don't go against these people if they keeping the commandments of God. It's going to be a problem for y'all.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the same.
Good stuff there.
Yep.
Good stuff. What else you had? Before I forget, is that it? Is that what we had?
Yeah, we was gonna do Kings another time.
Okay, yeah.
I still have some stuff on Limelight whenever you're ready, though.
Okay, let's go back to the book. Where we stop at the page. Where we stop at? 247.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is a key page right here. I have it highlighted. 247.
Disunion and death. Oh, we stopped at enslaving women. I'll read the whole thing again.
Enslaving women, yeah, right there.
Enslaving women. Muhammad attacked the Jewish tribes one by one, destroying each one in turn, confiscating their property, sometimes killing the men and enslaving the women.
Yep.
Sometimes sending the whole tribe into exile.
So we ran further into Africa. We ran further west. Go ahead, from the Arabs.
This destruction of the Jews accomplished two things for Muhammad. He could now point out that God was on his side.
One.
And always gave him victory.
Damn.
And he could use the Jewish booty to support his movement and lure more people to his camp.
Took our money, wealth, his cause. Something's wrong with you, man. Go ahead.
The result was that a large number of Arabs joined him. Thus, Muhammad's victory over the Jews helped him strengthen among the Arabs the very ideas which he had borrowed from the Jews.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The same strategy aided Muhammad in his conquest of the non-Jewish tribes of Arabia. One by one, he destroyed them as independent tribes and forced them to adopt his religion. That done, these Arabs soon realized that Mohammedanism really was superior to the paganism in which they had till then believed.
Because he conquered the Jews. If he could beat them, then that Allah must be real. But it wasn't the case. We went against our God. We were divided among ourselves, and that's how we fell. Go ahead.
Before Muhammad's death, only 10 years after his flight from Mecca, all Arabia rang with the cry, Allah's God, and Muhammad is his prophet.
Oh, boy. Because he conquered us. Go ahead.
Mohammedan conquest and the Jews.
Here we go.
Growing power. Before another century had passed, Mohammedanism ruled over Persia and Palestine, North Africa and Spain. It was a remarkable growth and can be accounted for by the strength of the forces behind the new religion and by the weakness of the heirs to the former Roman Empire. That empire had been disintegrating for some time. The invasions of the barbarian peoples had sapped its strength in the West, and bad government had weakened it in the East. Conquest of Palestine.
We were losing. Israel started losing power over Rome. By that time, we had Rome. We were ruling over Rome. West fell and broke and branched off into the 10 different tribes. East was getting weaker and weaker before eventually the Ottoman Turks took it over, which were Arabs, which were Muslims. Go ahead.
Conquest of Palestine.
Here we go. So now that he takes over, we're going to show you how the Palestinians got in Palestine. The Arabs got in Palestine. It's right here. Read.
Palestine, during the 5th and 6th centuries, had become depopulated. The Jews...
We weren't there. We were gone for the most part. Go ahead.
The Jews, displaced by Christians. Jewish cultural opportunities considerably reduced, and a slight degree of autonomy abolished with the ending of the patriarchate. To be sure, Jews continued to live there. Synagogues and schools were maintained, but they were constantly interfered with by the emperors of the Eastern Roman Empire. One emperor, especially Justinian I.
The evil Negro. He was evil as hell. He hated the Jews. He was an Israelite too, but he was evil as hell. Go ahead.
527 to 565.
He was a pagan Christian too. Go ahead.
Tried to make their religious and social life as difficult as possible. He interfered with what went on even inside the synagogues, telling the Jews what Greek translation of the Bible they might or might not use and prohibiting the interpretation of the Bible according to the imaginative.
Wow, this guy was the worst. He was the worst. Go ahead.
Hope-inspiring midrash.
Midrash. Hope-inspiring midrash means like writings of the Bible. Midrash. Hope-inspiring midrash. Go ahead.
He expected that in this way, the Jews might be induced to abandon Judaism.
He was antagonizing us, hoping that will cause us to go and follow what he was believing in, Christianity, pagan Christianity. Go ahead. Greco-Roman Christianity. Go ahead.
The actual effect was to make the Jews hope for the time when Christians would lose control of the country. This happened toward the beginning of the 7th century when Emperor Heraclius was defeated by the king of Persia. The Jews helped the Persian king free the land from Roman rule. Some years later, however, the Christians reconquered Palestine and the Jews paid dearly for having formerly sympathized with Persia.
Damn.
Only a few years later, in 635, the Arabs appeared upon the scene. Romans, as well as Persians, were completely unprepared to meet this new adversary. Muhammad, in the Quran, had promised eternal bliss to any soldier following the field of battle, and Islam's soldiers fought fiercely to gain either more territory on earth or greater joy in heaven. Within little more than a year, Palestine and Syria were in Mohammedan hands. A new period now began for the Jews of the Holy Land. They were not granted complete freedom. They, like the Christians, were heavily taxed, but they were permitted to settle wherever they pleased, even in Jerusalem. They could reopen their schools, they could pray in their synagogues without interference. Slowly, Jewish learning revived, and the Jews of Palestine were thus enabled to make further contributions to Jewish culture. Conquest of Persia. Just 1 year later, the Persians were driven out of Babylonia, and after a few years more...
Driven out of what?
Just 1 year later, the Persians were driven out of Babylonia. And after a few years more, all of Persia was Mohammedan.
Yep, all of Persia became much of Islam. Go ahead.
Here, too, the Jews sighed with relief at the coming of the invaders.
In other words, Iran became all predominantly Islam. Iran, go ahead.
The reason was much the same.
Iran and Iraq. Go ahead.
Religious persecution. For while the Mohammedans were starting on their road to conquest, the Persian government, for some obscure reason, or for no reason at all, began another persecution of its Jewish subjects. The exilarch at this time was a man named Bustani. Whatever truth there may be in the stories connected with his name, it is known that when the Mohammedans invaded Persia, Bastani was in flight before the Persian king who had deprived him of his position and was seeking his life at the same time that he was mistreating the other Jews. It was natural, therefore, for Bastani and the Jews to welcome the overthrow of the persecutor. One cannot tell how much help the Jews gave to the Mohammedans. It is doubtful that the Mohammedans needed help, for Persia turned out to be very weak. But the establishment of the Mohammedans as masters of Babylonia and Persia meant the restoration of Bastani to the exilic and the reopening of the academy.
Read that. Conquest of Egypt.
Conquest of Egypt.
Here you go. So
Wow.
they took over Palestine. They took over Egypt. Watch, it just started to spread. Remember, the Arabs started conquering from the east, making their way all the way to the west. So when they conquered from the east, Israel fled further west. But as we fled further west, they were conquering westward. Go ahead.
Conquest of Egypt. While one army of Mohammedans was conquering Asia, another invaded Egypt. At this time, the Jews of Egypt were few in number. The large and important Jewish community which had existed in that land had suffered blow after blow. It never recovered from the revenge which the pagan inhabitants of Egypt had taken for the Jewish rebellion against Rome in 115 or 117 Common Era. The reduced community suffered further from persecution by the Christians, the most bloody one being the one organized by Bishop Cyril of Alexandria in 415. Most of the remaining Jews fled further west in northern Africa.
I said that. We fled further west in northern Africa, and that's northwest. Going back to Mauritania, Angola, Tunisia. We fled further westward. Go ahead.
For the next 200 years, a tiny Jewish community led a shadowy existence in Egypt.
Watch this.
As a matter of fact, the whole of Egypt fell far below the state of wealth and culture, which had characterized it in earlier centuries.
Watch.
In 640, the Arab Mohammedans easily conquered the country and started on a new career.
And called it Al-Masir, the Mizr. They call it Mizr, as in Mizraim. The Arab Republic of Mizr, meaning the Arab Republic of Mizr is short for Mizraim, as in Egypt. That's what it's called. So Egypt is an Arab Republic. They took it over. Go ahead.
Gradually, Jews wandered.
Gradually, as the Muslims came in, the Jews wandered where?
Back and settled there. Under the influence of the Jews of Palestine and Babylonia, Jewish life once more became active and Jewish culture revived. The conquest of North Africa. Origin of North African Jewry. Stories more or less credible agree that the Jewish settlement in North Africa was a very ancient date. It may indeed be true that individual Israelites came there as early as the days of King Solomon.
Right.
In whose time cities established by Tyrian and Sidonian colonists were active commercially. Jews are known to have lived in Cyrenaica, Tripoli, soon after the reign of Ptolemy I.
Acts 2 again. You know I want Acts 2 and 5, and then jump to that verse. Cyrenaica. Let's see what that is. It says Tripoli there, but I don't think that's the case. Tripoli is the top half of Africa. Cyrenaica is Libya. Acts 2.
The book of Acts, chapter 2 and verse 5.
Unless it extended from Libya over to that area. That's a possibility. I can say that.
Acts.
Matter of fact, that's the case, yes, because that's where Hannibal and them was from. It was from Libya to Tunisia. In between that area was Tripoli. Well, yeah, read that.
Acts chapter 2 and verse 5. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men, out of every nation under heaven.
Chapter verse 10.
Verse 10. Phrygia.
Jews from Phrygia.
And Pamphylia. In Egypt.
Go ahead.
And in the parts of Libya. About Cyrene.
That's Cyrenaica. That's Cyrenaica right there. That's where we were. Go ahead.
And strangers of Rome.
Jews in Rome.
Jews and proselytes.
Jews and more Jews converted. Read on. So that's just what we're going into. So it describes Cyrenaica as the center of further increase in Jewish numbers. Start there.
Their numbers were augmented by fugitives from, in the 3rd century BCE.
I'm sorry, you're right. Yeah, read that. In the third century BC, yeah. Go ahead.
In the 3rd century BCE, their numbers were augmented by fugitives from Antiochus Epiphanes of Syria before he was defeated by the Maccabean armies. One of these refugees was Jason of Cyrene, who wrote a book describing the Maccabean War. Josephus, the Jewish historian who lived 2 centuries later, described Cyrenaica as the center of a large Jewish population. A further increase in Jewish numbers came as a result of the defeat of the Jews by Rome in 70 CE. So large was the Jewish population of Cyrenaica in the next generation that in the ill-fated uprising of 115 to 117,
They got slaughtered.
the Jews almost overcame their pagan neighbors and the Roman armies.
Because there was a lot of us, but It wasn't enough. The Most High didn't have that plan for us. Go ahead.
Rome's fearful vengeance caused many to flee further west into the territory then known as Mauritania.
Known as what?
Mauritania.
So many of the Jews in around 115 and 117, we fled to Mauritania. That's why I'm reading so much, because this has a lot of information we can run back to. So you know what I'm saying? So it says known as Mauritania. Now what? And now what?
And now it's Tunisia, Algeria, and Morocco.
Which they refer to now as the Maghreb, which goes back to the Haritans. I brought that out last week. The Haritans reside in these areas here. These are Jews that fled during the time of Rome into that area, as well as from Spain as well later on. Go ahead.
Other Jews from the former population of Cyrenaica fled completely beyond the reach of Rome into the desert to the south.
Fleeing from Rome. Go ahead.
Such is the explanation how the Sahara Desert first acquired Jewish tribes, toughened by a fighting tradition and possessed the physical characteristics which, it is said, still make them approximate very closely the original Jewish population of Palestine.
They looked exactly the same as they did living in Palestine. You got that stuff, shout to y'all? The Nadir?
Yes, sir.
Put it up there. Type in Banu Nadir.
Yes, sir.
We're going to give you an example of the Jewish tribes that resided in this landmass here. Different names.
You want him to post the book up?
I'll post that as
You
well.
can post the book, that's fine. But no, don't post the book. No. We don't have it yet. Just post the page.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, I meant the page. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the page,
I got the
yeah.
page in OHH as well.
Just post the page up there. Some of y'all mess around and buy the damn books till they're all gone. Never use them.
It's sitting on the shelf.
We can't get them. I got a book. You gonna do something with it? Nope, I just have it. Post the page first. When we get the book, we'll show it to you.
It's page 1. Yep. No, page 123. It should be the last two that I sent. Right there. It's that second paragraph.
Expedition against the Jews, 626 A.D. Muhammad, from the very...
The whole thing or just the highlight
Nah,
part?
just the part in the middle where you see the Banu Nadir. It says the Beni Nadir were driven from their
right there. Go there. Start there.
All right.
That's too much.
The Beni Nadir were driven from their strong castles.
Beni or Banu means sons of. Go ahead.
Were driven from their strong castles after their date.
Their strong what?
Strong castles.
We had castles. Go ahead.
After their date palms had been cut down in defiance of the usages of Arabian warfare. And they owed their lives solely to the powerful intercession of Abdallah, but were nevertheless compelled to quit the Arabian country, like the Benu Kanuka. Before
we got that last week, Kanuka.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it on that, unless you wanted to keep going with that.
What do you want to say about that?
No, I was just going to say, now, if you go to the Wikipedia, my fault. If you go to the Wikipedia, now you can see what that lineage is, who the Banu Nadir were.
Okay, so who's the Kanuka?
The Kanuka, I'm still researching that, but they also come from the
yeah,
same
Israelites
tribe.
too.
Yes,
so
sir.
the same group.
Same ones.
Okay, we doing. So right now, Benu Kanuka, we touched on last week. A sarcastic, witty guy insulted Muhammad all the time. He's from that group, the Kanuka. He was a Jew. He insulted them all the time. The sarcasm, and then eventually, of course, he got conquered as well by Muhammad later on. And then this group right here, the Benu Nadir, another group right here. Go ahead. Or Jews. Go ahead.
But the hypocrites continued to work against Muhammad's power after a victorious campaign against the powerful tribe of the Benu Mastalik. Abdallah excited a quarrel between the helpers and the immigrant believers, which was only adjusted by the skill and prompt decision of the prophet. A saying of the Quran gave warning against hypocrites, but this time, also Abdallah escaped punishment.
I believe Abdallah is Muhammad's father. He didn't believe.
Yeah.
He didn't believe. That's why it says in the Quran that he's in hell, and the mother is too, because they were called kafirs, unbelievers. So Muhammad's mom is in hell, his dad's in hell, because they were considered kafirs or unbelievers.
But everybody's in hell.
Everybody's in hell pretty much,
Yeah.
especially those two.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Including Muhammad too. Go ahead.
Even the evil reports concerning Aisha's virtue and marital fidelity, which he and others put into circulation about that time because she was left behind on a night march and entered the camp on the second day in the company of a man, were overlooked. Muhammad, in accordance with a revelation, declared the rumors to be slanders, punished the calumniators who, like the poet Hassan, maintained her guilt and cherished Aisha with fresh tenderness. But Abdallah remained unpunished. Muhammad dreaded the revenge of the Kharaj.
Yeah, more?
No, that's it. Just the Wikipedia link that I just sent.
Yeah. Let's go there.
Concerning the link. That's it. That last part is just going into rumors of Aisha. They were saying that she got left behind at a camp while Muhammad was out and other people ravished her, but
Oh,
I don't care
okay.
about that.
Yeah, she was like 9 years old.
Yeah. So the Banu Nadir. If you just scroll down to the lineage, we just read
Banu
all
Nadir,
of that.
Yep. Lineage. Yep. Read that.
According to the Arab historian Al-Samani, the members of the Banu Nadir tribe are the descendants of Al-Nadir.
The Nadir. Al means the Nadir. Go ahead.
A Jewish man who migrated from Judea to Arabia. Probably name Al-Nadir is derived from the Hebraic name Ha-Nazir. According to the Arab historian Ibn Hazm, they are direct patrilineal descendants of the biblical Aaron.
Levites. Levites living in Arabia. There you go. Banu Nadir. All right. You also have Beni Moses also in that old map we have. Beni Moses, Banu Nadir, Beni Kauka. It's many of us in those areas. That's all you want.
All praises.
Go back. Where we at now?
Hey, D, to that sarcasm that they talk about, that's seen all throughout the scriptures with like with Elijah and the worshippers of Baal.
Yeah, we were very sarcastic people.
Yeah. Daniel and Darius.
Yeah, we were very sarcastic people, man. Where we at? Page 251. What page is that?
That was 250, so we should be at 251.
Yeah, 251. That's the key page also.
Go back to 250 real quick. Yeah, let me read that bottom part.
Yeah, Rome's vengeance. Okay, yeah.
It says, an era of political opportunity. Pagan Rome established order in its world and grew tolerant. Under his rule, the Jews of North Africa lived in peace for 200 years after the diaspora rebellion.
Damn.
Their position changed, but slightly for the worse. After Christianity became the dominant religion of the empire early in the 4th century. Then the Vandals came, that Germanic tribe which wandered across Gaul and Spain and established a kingdom in North Africa.
Yep, Vandals. That's Edomites. Go ahead.
The Jews were growing in power and prestige at that time. Many North African pagans were choosing between Judaism and Christianity, and the Vandals were tolerant in religious matters. In the 6th century, Belisarius, Emperor Justinian's general, attempted to reconquer North Africa for the Roman Empire. That, however, was only a passing storm, although it probably caused additional Jews to flee southward into the desert. Generally speaking, the 5th and 6th centuries saw the growth of Jewish cities and perhaps of independent Jewish kingdoms, as the following story of a Jewish queen indicates. The Mohammedan invasion. In the second half of the 7th century, the Muslim armies moved westward from Egypt and carried everything before them. Daya Kahina
is the Levite sister who was a queen. Go ahead.
A
prophetess. Go ahead.
A member of a Jewish royal dynasty, placed herself.
Aaron's family also. Go ahead.
Placed herself at the head of an army composed of Berbers, Christians, and Jews, and fought the advance of the Mohammedans beyond Tunisia. She defeated them, and the Christian bishops, along with the pagan Berbers, rejoiced in her triumph. The Jews were not so happy.
Why?
Partly because they saw her falling too deeply into the debt that her pagan and Christian helpers, and partly because she outraged them by being more warrior than Jewish.
Because she was masculine. She was more masculine than women. They didn't like that. The Israelite men didn't like that. Manly women. She could fight, and she was a prophetess. She could foresee things before it happened. So she knew they were going to attack first, or they were going to come, so they couldn't beat her. But of course, she got caught. Eventually, she got conquered eventually because she was too soft towards the little Arab boy. Compassionate, right? Go ahead.
The Christians too turned out to be.
She had sons. She had a lesbian, but she had sons. But the fact that she was a woman that was leading them, they didn't like that. Go ahead.
The Christians too turned out to be ungrateful when, after 5 years of preparation, the Mohammedans returned to do battle. The Christian bishops entered into negotiation with them. Daya Kahina, deserted alike by her Christian and her Jewish subjects, retreated, destroying everything in her way. Her army was reduced in numbers, and she died in battle.
Damn.
Her son then turned Muslim, and later,
because he was mad because her own people and Israelite Christians turned their back on his mother. So he left. He went and joined the Islamic army. Go ahead, and helped to fight and take over Spain. Read.
Her son then turned Muslim and later took part in the Mohammedan conquest of Spain, when, in the year 711, the Mohammedans crossed the narrow straits and took possession of almost the entire peninsula.
Of Gibraltar. That goes into Tariq and Tarif, which are also Israelites as well in the Arab armies. In the Islamic armies, most of his army was us. Very few Arabs were in that when we were fighting for Muhammad to take over the old world up into Spain. Go ahead.
Thus, in little less than
we didn't get along with the Arabs even back then. Even in their ranks, we didn't get along. Go ahead.
Thus, in little less than 100 years, Mohammedanism has spread from the half-forgotten Arabian desert to include lands as far apart as the northern border of India and the Pyrenees, south of France. Babylonia, Palestine, and Egypt were theirs, the cradles of ancient civilization. These lands began to nourish a new culture, certain to affect the culture of their Jewish inhabitants.
Last page. Come on.
Judaism and Mohammedanism, religious rivalry. The Mohammedans were as anxious to convert the Jews to Mohammedanism as they were to convert the Christians. But through many years of living in the midst of a much larger number of believers in another religion, whether Christianity or
Zoroastrianism means Persian doctrine. That's Zoroastrianism. I say Babylonianism, pretty much. Go ahead.
Zoroastrianism, the Jews had learned to resist.
That's the Talmud pretty much comes from, the Talmud. Zoroastrianism. Go ahead.
The Jews had learned to resist pressure. Equally important was the fact that the Jews were far more educated and better informed about their religion than the adherents of other religions with whom they came in contact.
Right, I mean, we were smarter than Christians and Muslims. Right. That's what that means. We were smarter. You couldn't convert us because we knew your book better than you.
Right.
That's what he's saying. Go ahead.
Well, had the Mohammedans to offer them, which the Jews did not have.
What can you give us we didn't have already? We had everything. Go ahead.
The Mohammedans admitted the sacredness of the Bible.
They what?
They admitted the sacredness of the Bible.
But for some reason now they don't. But back then they did. Go ahead.
And the Quran did not compare with the Bible for idealism and religious power.
The Quran did not compare to the Bible in ideas or power. And it still doesn't now. Go ahead.
The Mohammedans admitted.
This page, I had to get to this page. I had to get to it. Sorry, it was a long way, but I had to get to that page. Go ahead.
The Mohammedans admitted the greatness of the Jewish past and even claimed Abraham as their ancestor.
Because he is. Go ahead.
Since they traced their origin to Ishmael.
Based upon what we taught them. Go ahead.
Brother of Isaac.
Yep.
And Moses and the prophets as their teachers. They adopted the Jewish idea of God's unity. They looked upon Palestine as a holy land.
They still do.
On the other hand, they did not have the great cultural tradition of the Jews.
Because they ain't us. Go ahead.
They could not lay claim to the heroism and the hopes of the Jewish people.
Because they ain't us.
All they could offer was physical comfort and political success.
Okay. Make our lives easier. Go ahead. Because they were ruling.
To a spiritually advanced people
to a what?
To a spiritually advanced people.
To a what?
To a spiritually advanced people.
We are a spiritually advanced people.
That's right.
Get Psalms 82, please.
Bring it out.
Give me Psalms 82, verse 6.
Bring it out.
Spiritually advanced people. Psalms 82, verse 6.
The book of Psalms, chapter 82 and verse 6. I have said, ye are gods.
I have said, ye are gods. Go ahead.
And all of you are children of the Most High.
That's why we got genes and blood like Henrietta Lacks. Henrietta Lacks is an example of being a children of the Most High God. She ain't the only one. I guarantee she's probably the royal line.
Yep.
Yeah.
I guarantee has David's blood flowing through her veins. I guarantee you. Them immortal cells she had. I guarantee has David's blood in her. Guarantee.
Hey, Deke. Even the sister we was reading about that could foresee battles, it said she was a member of the royal lineage.
Yeah, but that was Aaron's line. Because it was Queen Hannah. She was a priest.
Oh, damn.
But nonetheless, I said before.
Either way.
The royal lines of David, the royal lines of Saul, and the royal lines of Levi were brought over here first.
Right.
Dang. We was all together.
You all together, always together. Especially in Benin. Most of the Levites came from Benin. The kingdom of Judah.
Yeah. It says, to a spiritually advanced people like the Jews, this was not enough.
Nothing's enough for us. Go ahead.
Wherever the Mohammedans came, they found Jews. And they soon discovered that, with very exceptions, Jews adhered abstinently to their old faith despite threats or promises.
Jews adhered obstinately, meaning we ain't turned to the left. We ain't want to hear nothing. We want to hear no Christianity. We don't want to hear no damn Islam. We good over here. We don't want to hear none of that. Read it again.
The Jews adhered abstinently to their old faith despite threats or promises.
We didn't care about no threats. You gonna kill me? Do it. You gonna give me something? I don't want it. Go ahead.
The Pact of Omar. The Mohammedans established a code of law by which the Jews and the few Christians who remained in the lands which they conquered were forced to live.
It's called the Pact of Omar. They made us wear certain things to let them know between a Muslim on this side and Jews on that side. Why? Because we look the same. So they said, okay, you guys are gonna wear, I think, a yellow hat. They gave us something to wear to distinguish us between both the Islamic Jews and the Mosaic Jews. Go ahead.
It was known as the Pact of Omar.
Right.
Its object was to make it perfectly clear that members of another religious group were inferior to Mohammedans.
Yeah, it was an insult. Go ahead.
Non-Mohammedans were forbidden to speak disrespectfully of Muhammad and his religion.
Because we would confound them. We would confound them. Go ahead.
They could not prevent one of their number from joining Islam.
Mm-hmm.
The taxation which non-believers had to bear was always to be heavy.
They put a heavy tax on us. Go ahead.
No new synagogues could be built, though old ones could be repaired.
Damn.
No new synagogue or church could tower higher than a neighboring mosque.
Wow.
Members of another religion could not ride on horses, but only mules.
We only ride on donkeys. We couldn't ride on horses. Read on.
Nor could they carry swords.
We couldn't ride on horses. Give me Ecclesiastes.
Bring it out.
I mean, they didn't let us walk, but it's still the same analogy regardless.
Right.
Ecclesiastes what? 10 and what? 10 and 4?
10 and 7.
10 and
10 and
7.
7, yes, okay. Ecclesiastes, chapter 10 and verse 7. I have seen servants upon horses, and princes walking as servants upon the earth.
Or riding upon a mule. And among the Arabs, riding upon mules. We couldn't ride no horse. Who that nigga on that nag?
Right.
Same scenario. Just mules. Rather than walk, we had us ride on mules instead, which is a lesser horse. That's what they're trying to say. You guys, we ride the horses. You'll ride the ass. Ride the mules, nigga. Or abd. They call us abid. Go ahead.
That's it.
Or kafir. Is that it? That's on the page? That's it? What's here? What's this? You cannot carry swords.
Yes. Nor could they carry swords. In general, non-Muslims were to be so dressed as to be easily distinguishable from Muslims.
Why? Why were non-Muslims to be distinguished from Muslims? Because you had Israelites that converted to Islam, and you had Israelites that remained in Judaism. To distinguish the two, it looked exactly the same. So the Jews had to wear a certain thing, and Muslims wore a certain thing to give a difference. But the Moors, which were Islamic Jews, and the Jews themselves were the same people, looking the exact same way, but different clothes for distinguishing. All right? Go ahead.
The last regulation was of unusual importance. 2 centuries.
That's all I want. This is going out. That's all I want. Give me Genesis 37. Genesis 37. Let's get that. Genesis 37. And what's going on, man? It's like a haunted house in here. What's going on with these damn lights, bro?
Hezron, I told you, bro. That was.
Genesis 37 verse 9.
Yeah, we took a break, and so none of this was.
He said, "Don't worry, Officer Abaddon. They're good."
Genesis 37 verse 9.
The braids are too tight.
Damn poltergeist in here or something. Genesis 37.
Yes, sir. Genesis chapter 37 and verse 9. And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars have made obeisance to me. And he told it to his father and to his brethren. And his father rebuked him, and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee, to the earth? And his brethren envied him, but his father observed the same.
So Joseph was hated by his brothers, and he had a vision and dream of his brothers and father and mother eventually bowing down to him, because eventually he would become second over Egypt. He would gain authority. What verse is that?
Verse 11.
Read on. You're going to read down. Read on. The whole thing.
And his brethren went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. And Israel said unto Joseph, Do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said unto him, Here am I. And he said to him, Go, I pray thee, see whether it be well with thy brethren, and well with the flocks, and bring me word again. So he sent him out of the vale of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. And a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, What seekest thou? And he said, I seek my brethren. Tell me, I pray thee, where they feed their flocks.
Come on.
And the man said, They are departed hence, for I heard them say, Let us go to Dothan. And Joseph went after his brethren and found them in Dothan.
Come on.
And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them. They conspired against him to slay him.
They want to kill this dude, man. Before he even he's from a distance. They're like, yo, what? Yo, I want to kill this dude. They hated Joseph, man. Our forefathers was evil, man. They had a strong hatred for their brother. Go ahead.
And they said one to another, behold, the dreamer cometh.
Behold, this dreamer. That's the sarcasm. This dreamer cometh. Here comes the dreamer. Go ahead.
Come now, therefore, and let us slay him, and cast him into some pit. And we will say, some evil beasts have devoured him. And we shall see what will become of his dreams.
See if he can dream when he's dead. This was terrible, man. that shows that we were men. That our forefathers were regular men. They were fallible. They had an envy spirit on Joseph. It is what it is. They changed later on, but that just goes to show how, that's the human side of us. Go ahead.
And Reuben heard it, and he delivered them out of their hands and said,
So Reuben heard it and was like, nah, he's an older brother. He's like, nah, man, y'all wrong, man. Don't kill him now. Go ahead.
And said, let us not kill him. And Reuben said unto them, shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness.
Okay, that's not any better, but it's better than killing him. He said, let's just throw him in a ditch. Go ahead.
And lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands, to deliver him to his father.
So his plan was, let's just throw him in a ditch, and then he's planning, I'm going to bring him back to dad. They're going to try to kill him. So Reuben was looking out for him.
Right.
Okay, go ahead, because Reuben knew I was wrong. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph of his coat.
Because his father gave him a coat, a multicolored coat, as his favorite. And they said, take that damn coat off. Ripped his coat off. Yeah, took it off him. Go ahead.
His coat of many colors that was on him. And they took him and cast him into a pit. And the pit was empty.
So obviously the pit was deep enough where he couldn't get out. Go ahead.
There was no water in it.
Right. So if there was, he would have drowned. Go ahead.
And they sat down to eat bread. And they lifted up their eyes.
Wait. You gotta fill it in. They threw him in a pit. Then they sat down. So while they're eating their food, he's like, yo, help me out. He's crying. They're like, this nigga, they're eating their food, and he's in a pit. He can't get out. It's evil, man. What's happening? Right. This is all an abbreviation, but you gotta read between the lines. They threw him in a pit, and they sat down to eat while he's in the pit. So he's crying and screaming for help. Help me, whatever. Go ahead. But they didn't care because they hated him. Go ahead.
And they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites.
Company of who?
Ishmaelites.
A company of Ishmaelites. Go ahead.
Came from Gilead with their camels, bearing spicery and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt.
So they were merchants. Go ahead.
And
a company of Ishmaelites. Go ahead.
And Judah said unto his brethren,
the fourth born,
what profit is it if we slay our brother?
Why kill him? Go ahead.
And conceal his blood.
And hide the body and all that stuff. Why do all of that? Go ahead. Come. You thought about it. Go ahead.
Come, and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites.
Oh, man. This is throw him in slavery. Go ahead.
And let not our hand be upon him.
Let's not kill him. Let's just throw him in slavery. Go ahead.
For he is our brother and our flesh.
He is our brother. You hate his guts, but he's still our family. Go ahead.
And his brethren were content.
Said, that's a better idea. Let's not kill him. Go ahead.
Then there passed by Midianites.
Go ahead.
Merchantmen.
So it was Midian and Ishmael together. Go ahead.
And they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver.
He's crying. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't sell me away. He didn't care. You got to fill in the blanks. Go ahead.
And they brought Joseph into Egypt.
Yeah, they carried Joseph into Egypt. Go ahead.
And Reuben returned unto the pit.
And Reuben came back to look for Joseph. So obviously Reuben wasn't there. Go ahead.
And behold, Joseph was not in the pit, and he rent his clothes, and he returned unto his brethren, and said, the child is not, and whither shall I go? And they took Joseph's coat, and killed a kid of the goats, and dipped the coat in the blood.
Damn.
And they sent the coat of many colors, and they brought it to their father, and said, this have we found. Know now whether it be thy son's coat or no.
Is this Joseph's coat? He knew it was his coat. It says, is this Joseph's coat? Go ahead.
And he knew it and said, it is my son's coat, and evil beasts have devoured him. Joseph without doubt rent his clothes. Joseph is without rent in pieces. Sorry.
Oh, God. It's without doubt rent in pieces.
Yes.
Congratulations. So he was convinced that Joseph was torn to pieces by an animal. Go ahead, by a wild animal. Go ahead.
Verse 34. And Jacob rent his clothes and put sackcloth upon his loins and mourned for his son many days.
Damn.
And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. And he said, for I will go down into my grave unto my son. For I will go down unto the grave unto my son mourning.
Yeah.
Thus his father wept for him.
Damn.
And the Midianites sold him into Egypt unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's and captain of the guard.
So the point is that the Ishmaelites were always involved in slave trading. That's why I read that. They were always involved in slave trading. Always. You got a text? The Midianites and the Ishmaelites together were always involved in some slave trade. What does it say there? I can't read that.
Okay. How far in Africa did Muhammad go to enslave our people, and did the Nation of Islam at its height know about the atrocities Muhammad did?
Yes, they did. They knew very much so. It's in their hadiths. He sold 2 black slaves to free an Arab one. That's in their hadiths. So they knew. And how far did it spread? The answer is quite simple. If you look at a map today, all the Islamic regions of Africa is where they took over. So from northeast to the northwest, the whole top half of Africa is Islamic ruled.
Right. And they crossed the Sahara.
And they crossed the Sahara and all the way into Spain pretty much.
Remember, also, they were doing trade. They had trade routes. So on those trade routes, they would encounter us on those trade routes.
Right.
Coming into Negro land and coming into the kingdoms that we had. And therefore, they was taking us just like that. Conquering us out of those
selling us to the Portuguese. We're going to get into that stuff as we proceed in the lesson. We're going to get into that. Do I want to get it real fast? I think I'm going to fall back on it. 24. No, I'm gonna fall back on it. We're gonna continue Lord's Roll next week. We're going into that because we're gonna start jumping into that. Lam, go back into that. We're gonna go into how we fled into Africa, Lord's will. So next topic will be further flight into Africa will be the next week's topic. All right, further flight into Africa because we already touched on Muhammad's origins. Right. We touched on some of the tenets of the religion with the pedophilia and the rape that's in there. We touched on that. Glossed across it. So hope you guys enjoyed the lesson. We're gonna go into our further flight into Africa, and eventually we're going to lead it into the trans-Saharan slave trade and how far that went and things of that nature. So hope you guys enjoyed the lesson. Hope you guys enjoy the scenery now. This is fire right here. All right. Brothers, sisters did their thing. Brothers did their thing. Putting this together. I'm motivated, man. I'm motivated. Aside from the poltergeist lights today, we're gonna fix that next week.
All praise.
But other than that, Lord's will, man. Hope you guys enjoyed the lesson. We got our first Zoom call today, so it's an exciting day. So all praise to the Most High.
Sir.
Abdul, you got everything?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Hey, Israel, let's give a hand for that class again. All praise to the Most High. All praises.
I know it's a lot of reading, y'all. I know it's a lot. Bishop gonna curse me out, but I had to get through that stuff to go back and so I can have something to tie back to with the books, with the scriptures, Lord's will next week. All scriptures next week.
Yes, sir. All praise the Most High. Hey, Israel, remember to subscribe to Our Hidden History Radio on YouTube, all right? Make sure you hit the notifications button so you know when we go live. Subscribe also to our Philly pages, IUIC Philadelphia and IUIC Philadelphia in the Classroom, to get the latest camp videos from the deacon, captain, and officers of IUIC Philly. You can donate to Our Hidden History on PayPal. You can donate to IUIC.Philadelphia at IsraelUnite.org. In the comment section, put OHH. Also, donate to the Booster Club. You can donate to the Booster Club on PayPal to IUIC.fundraising at IsraelUnite.org. Subscribe to IUIC TV to get exclusive content from the leadership of IUIC. And tune in next to Raven and Wolves with Deacon Malafire.
Is it?
All right, next.
Oh.
Yeah, I got next.
Damn.
All right, missing persons. We have Zaire Robinson, age 17. African-American, eye color brown, about 5'5", 160 pounds. Zaire was last seen on July 23rd. He likes to frequent the Longcrest area. No clothing description given. So if you do see the brother, make sure you make the authorities aware. Let's help find our brothers and sisters, all right? Next. Also, donate to the land fund, all right? The bishop put the vision out. We want to purchase our own land so we can celebrate our own feast in peace. If you believe that, sending your donations to PayPal to Israel at IsraelUnite.org, and in the comment section, put land. All right? Without a vision, the people perish. Next. And lastly, we're seeking your assistance to enhance our national broadcast. Kindly spare a minute to provide feedback by answering 5 brief questions. So pull out your phone and scan that QR code, all right? I think they're going to say good things about this one, you know? There's a lot of good things going on right now.
Yeah, they did a good job today.
Yo, shout out to Officer Manny, man. We can get a hand clap for Officer Manny.
Excellent job over there, man. Excellent job.
I think that's
he don't feel the same about you, bro.
Okay.
It's all right.
Still ongoing beef. All right.
It says love your enemies.
All right.
Love them that hate you.
Sorry, Manny.
Okay. All right.
Accuser of the brethren.
Okay. That didn't work out too well.
That's why it says do good to the godly man.
All right. Where we at? What's up next?
That's it.
That's it?
Yes, sir.
All right. So awkward silence and insults being thrown back and forth. We are sarcastic people. All right. All praise to the Most High. Lord, we'll see y'all hopefully next week. Lord's will. Shalom. Most High in Christ bless. Until then.
Shalom. Most High in Christ bless.